Okay, we reached a portion of our show where we're going to have an interview. I have with me Mr. Larry Sanders, one of the hardest working men on the Alcorn's campus, and my advisor for my department. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
So we're going to jump right into it. How long have you been with us at ASU?
I've been in Alcorn for 8 years now.
Okay, how are you liking everything so far?
I'm liking. I really am. I like the atmosphere. I love the students. A lot of people may complain about I have to drive 30 miles to a Walmart or the nearest town or something like that. But I like the relaxing drive, coming out of Natchez and going back to Natchez. So I love it very much.
Yeah, great. What is the biggest change you've seen thus far since you've been at Alcorn?
The erection of new buildings. When I got here, it was old Alcorn, and now, just driving on campus and driving around from the new dorms to the new eating facility to how they revamped the cafeteria and the student union. Even in the radio station, some things are new. So a lot of things have been done as cosmetically anyway, have been done to make the campus look better.
Okay. Would you like to see anything done differently with your department in the Department of Mass Communications? And if so, what would it be?
I would love to see us have our own building, for one. I would love to see us have a master's program in mass communications. My third wish would be to have more students within the department, to revamp everything. And if we can't get our own building, I would like for everything to be revamped as far as having smart rooms, smart boards, things of that nature, updated equipment, make certain that we have all of the newest technology that's available right now, because you have to realize we are preparing the future generations for that. So we don't want them to go out in the real world and not be adequately prepped. So those are just three things that I just get out of the way right off the bat. And another thing would be to have the students to have them to go on more conferences and things of that nature, so they can meet different individuals, and who knows, that one card that you may get from that individual could be a future job. So.
Okay. And with that said, how do you deal with the pressure of knowing that you have students' foundation in your hands and students are relying on you to succeed? How do you deal with that pressure every day?
I really don't look at it as pressure. I'm really looking at it as doing my job. And I've always been taught to, if you're going to do something, to do it well. And I'm one of these sticklers. I stay on my students, because I've always said, I know this may sound corny and cliche, but I look at it as, when you come into the department, then you're one of my people. And I like to take care of my people. Some people may look at it as he's being hard on us, or he's being mean to us or whatever, but it's not that. It's just that I want my students, or our students, to succeed to the best of their ability. And I don't like lackadaisicalness. I've never liked that. I'm not like that. I've never been around people like that, and I definitely don't want them to be that. I expect these people to go on, get jobs in mass communications or whatever field, or the field that they decide to go into. I want them to be very successful in it.
I could definitely relate to that, being one of your students. Do you, with you being a very profound professor, do you see any of yourself and students that are upcoming in you? Do you ever see yourself as one of them when you're in college and making the same mistakes that a lot of your students tend to make?
Yeah, because a lot of times I see a young 18, 19-year-old me in them. And that's why I can understand certain situations when they come to me and tell me about certain things, because I will never sit there and embarrass a student in class and say, hey, you, Joe, hey, you, Tanya, you did. I would never do that. If I say, hey, I need to talk to you in the office or something to that effect. But for the most part, now I'm not saying I understand every time that some type of excuse is given to me, but I do understand that things go on outside of school and whatnot, so I do understand that. Now, it may look as though I'm not listening to them when they're telling me this, but I am listening to them.
Okay. And so what do you like to do for your downtime when you're not at Alcorn running the campus?
Man, it may sound boring, but I'm an avid reader. I love to read, and I like to be educated about different things. I mean, as you said in your news about Congress passed the, what did it say?
They just passed a 2-year extension bill.
Yeah, and that's something that being that we've stopped doing our current events quizzes, I missed it this week. So, but that's something that I'm glad to hear. And you know, I like to travel a lot. As a kid, you know, we went all across the country, and that's something that I would really like to do again, because I'm more than certain the country has changed in the 20, 30 years that my brother and I and my family went and done it. So that's something that I'd like to do again.
So where are some places you like to travel to?
Vegas, for one, most definitely.
I hear it's nice out there.
Yeah, love to go to Vegas. I've always wanted to go to the hot springs in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've always wanted to go there. Let's see. I've been everywhere else, man. I mean, maybe go back to New York again. After a pretty bad experience in D.C., I said I'd never go to D.C. again, but I think I would like to go to D.C. again. And those are just kind of 3 or 4 on my wish list. And I would like to, and I'm a huge Saints fan, and for one day, I would like to go to Seattle Stadium, I don't know the name of it, and cheer on the black and gold, because I just refuse to believe that we can't beat Seattle in Seattle. I'm still sick about that from a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I'm a Dirty Bird fan, so I'm going to have to go with the Falcons all day.
You know.
So when you're not working, do you have any other involvements around campus that you would like for us to know about?
Well, I do. Well, I don't know if it's not involved, but I mean, I am teaching oral communications class, which I thoroughly enjoyed that. But other than that, you know, between the radio station and the newspaper and speech and teaching, you know, I'm quite busy. So
sound booked.
Yeah, I am booked.
What advice do you have for any upcoming freshmen that's coming in and you just want them to start off on a nice path to success? What's something that you would like to install into them?
I would tell them to make certain that you go and speak with people who are already in the field that you're interested in, and get all of the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. And I always use this term, shadow that person. You know, go to that person's job and say, hey, look, you don't have to pay me. I just want to follow you, see how the business works. And, you know, by the time you get in that college class, you already know just as much as the professor knows, and so forth. So do that. And be serious when you come to college. You know, don't goof off your first 2 years and then decide, you know what, hey, my senior year I'm gonna come. No, just be serious from the time that your parents drop you off in the car freshman year up until you walk across the stage at graduation in 4 years. You know, so just be serious.
I wish I could have been told that in my first day here. So we're gonna go into a little game. I'm gonna shout out some names. You're just gonna tell me the first thing that pops into your head. Just strictly opinion, nothing too serious. We're going to jump in and just say Julia Roberts. What's your opinion on her?
Where is she? I haven't seen her.
You know she got in trouble with the DUI thing, so
I haven't seen her since Pretty Woman. Where is she?
Okay, let's go and say Drake. I know you have an opinion about Drake.
I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying it. I don't think Drake is as talented as people say he is. I see Drake as just the flavor of the month. You know, what are you, a rapper or a singer?
Actor.
Actor, you know, pick one. I remember Drake from Degrassi Junior High as the guy in the wheelchair that got shot, you know.
Right.
What are you, you know? So when I see him being all, and people out there in radio land, you can't see me, I'm doing air quotes right now, being all hard and smoking black and mild, you know that's not you. You know you weren't raised like that, so fake. You know, if I had to say one word, fake.
Okay. Miley Cyrus.
Doing her thing. She's, hey, if one way to get out of a squeaky clean image like Hannah Montana is to do what Miley has been doing the last year and associating herself with some toughs like T.I. and Juicy J or whomever else she's hanging around now. So, do your thing, Miley.
I think she's taking a lot of the blueprint from Britney Spears coming out of the Disney World and transforming.
And you know, I've seen a lot of these people before, just in different bodies. You know, let's say Nicki Minaj. I saw that as Lil' Kim. Lady Gaga. I saw that as Madonna. You know, there has been no other Michael Jackson or Prince that I know of. You know, so Drake is in my generation was a guy named Christopher Williams. You know, so I've seen it. And I'll see another Drake in the next 20 years or so forth. So
okay, last person, let's go and say Denzel Washington. What's your thoughts?
Best actor in our generation. I have to say that. Denzel's work is unparalleled. I don't have anything bad to say about Denzel. But now, I have to say this. There's a certain time that at a certain age you should stop doing action movies. You know,
Is he reaching that peak?
Yeah, he reached that peak. You know, Sylvester Stallone, what's that? Robert De Niro, Denzel. You know, you're 60-ish now. You know, it's time to stop doing the action thing like Bruce Willis. You know, let it go.
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold. Let the new guys handle the action flicks and whatnot.
Okay, so I have one more last question for you before we jump out of here. If you have one wish coming to you, what would it be and why?
To retire happy because, and I always have a story for everything. It was an episode of Good Times, and that was the scene where a lady was eating cat food because she didn't have enough Social Security coming in, and I laughed at that. I mean, I laughed at that. I thought it was really funny, and my grandmother told me, like, don't laugh at that because that may be you 65 years from now, 60 years from now. I was like, yeah, whatever. So now that I'm thinking about that as I'm getting older, yeah, I don't want to be the old person eating cat food that's 75 years old. So to retire happily and financially secure.
All right, there you got it. You have it. That concludes the interview portion of our show. I'd like to thank my guest, Mr. Sanders. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're going to stay tuned. We have plenty of more show for you. We're going to jump into some more music here. We're going to start by playing Still Post by Roller Skates.